Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rosemary Krishnan from Los Angeles. How are you all doing? I hope everyone and every place is doing wonderful. I am very, very excited to bring in yet another amazing artist in today's Artist Beyond Limit series. And you probably had seen all my postings and all over the place. And I am very, very excited to bring her in today. But before I bring our guest of artist in, I would like to say a few words about the incredible benefits of performing arts, especially singing, as we are going to be talking to an amazing singer today to recognize the profound positive impact that singers create in our society. You know, the history of performing arts is as old as humankind itself, and to many, performing arts such as singing, dancing, painting, playing musical instruments, and composing seem as essential to life as eating or sleeping. Apart from this, they may not literally, but perhaps spiritually die inside. You know, it is that powerful. We all know that, right? People often speak about how much happier they are when they are able to perform. And many will tell you how much healthier they have become since beginning to sing, dance, paint, or play an instrument. Singing, often referred to as the universal language, transcends cultural barriers, touches our hearts, and has the power to uplift, inspire, and unite us. At its core, singing is a deeply personal and expressive art form. It allows us to communicate our emotions, thoughts, and experiences in a way that words alone cannot capture. Singing has the ability to convey joy, sorrow, love, and a range of every navarasas, or nine emotions, providing an outlet for self-expression and healing. Moreover, singing is a powerful tool for personal growth and well being. When we sing, our bodies release endorphins, often referred to as, feel good hormones, I would say, which elevate our mood and reduce stress. It's scientifically proven that singing also improves our posture. You know, when we sit or stand and sing, how we do, it improves our posture, and it strengthens our respiratory system and enhances lung capacity. It is a natural stress reliever that allows us to escape the pressures of everyday life. In this past-faced world, we run all day long, all night long, some of the times. So, it takes away the pressure of everyday life and finds solace and melodies and harmonies. Furthermore, singing is an art form that fosters a sense of community and belonging. Whether in a choir or a band or even solo performance, singers come together to create something greater than themselves. Singing in harmony requires network, active listening, and coordination, promoting collaboration and unity among individuals. Through shared musical experiences, singers form deep connections between, and they build friendship and create supportive communities. Singers also play a vital role in shaping our society. Do you know that? Through their performances, they have the ability to inspire, educate, and promote positive change. Music has been a powerful medium for addressing social issues, raising awareness about important causes, and sparking conversations that lead to social progress. Singers have historically been at the foremost of social and political movements, using their voices to advocate for justice, equality, and peace. Moreover, singers have the unique ability to touch the lives of individuals in profound ways. They bring comfort to sick and the suffering through therapeutic music, programs in the hospitals, nursing homes, elderly care facilities, and even recent days in jails and other care facilities, I had noticed. They provide solace and inspiration to those facing personal struggles, reminding them that they are not alone. And today's singer in Artist Beyond Limit series is one of the amazing performers. She is not only a Carnatic vocalist, but I heard her singing some beautiful Western operatic themed fusion music collaboration, which was amazing. And I originally thought, she was just a classical singer, and I researched her because, she was very famous back home in India in 90s, and unfortunately I was sitting in the United States in 90s, so I haven't heard much of the movie songs and all her amazing, beautiful singing performances since I was here, and we didn't have the Indian channels that easily available in Los Angeles. So, but when I started researching about her, I was completely amazed with her achievements. And it was it's going to be a really phenomenal interview today. She also gave her a beautiful voice and sang in many Indian cinemas. And have you guessed who she is now? You probably do. Who is none other than the amazing, highly talented Dr. Charulatha Mani. And Dr. Charulatha Mani is a award winning Carnatic singer and ethnomusicologist, having had a good fortune of training under stalwarts such as Sandhya Vandanam Sri Srinivas Rao, Calcutta Sri K.S. Krishnamurti sir. I studied also briefly with Calcutta Krishnamurti sir, and Srimati Savitri Satyamurti for over 2 decades. Charu is well known for her depth in raga lakshanas and classical rigor. Charu launched Isai Payanam in 2006, first as a TV show on Jaya TV, and then as a concert series in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in Chennai, India. And this supercharged her profile. Her Isai Payanam, I heard here and there, in those times. It was one of the amazing, phenomenal events. And Isai Payanam, an innovative concert, lecture concept, draws together the powerful aspects of Carnatic ragas, raga lakshanas. And without further ado, I'm going to talk about her later. I'm going to be bringing Charu on stage. Hello, Charu, Dr. Charulatha. How are you doing?
Vanakkam, Rose, I'm fantastic, and how are you? Thank you so much for having me on this Artist Beyond Limit show. And I've heard so much about your Spring Nectar Foundation for Indian Music and Heritage, and you as an artist and a creative head of this sort of an organization, as well as a composer, and all of those things that you do, Rose, are really inspiring. So, congratulations, and thank you for bringing me on this show.
Of course, I'm very, very excited to bring you in, Charu, and your accomplishments are amazing, phenomenal. I wanted to tell the audience who do not know about Charu, because this live is worldwide, so I wanted to just give a little brief. Charulata is actually, Dr. Charulatha Mani is a multi award winning Carnatic singer and ethnomusicologist, having had the good fortune of training under all these musicians. She's been doing an amazing job, worldwide, and she studied over 2 decades with phenomenal musicians. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, her Isai Payanam was one of the top hits in the Indian history, I would say. Carnatic Ragalakshana and classically based film music, she kind of collaborated, and then her lives were amazing, known for its raga analysis, interesting explanations, a multilingual approach, and wide audience reach. Isai Payanam had definitely demystified Carnatic music, and then democratizing it as an art form to be enjoyed across social divides, which also made her YouTube channel to jump up to 48,000 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed her, please, please, please make sure, just poke it, all right? So make sure you do that, so that 48,000 will become 50,000 very soon. And also over 5 million views of her YouTube channels, and continuing to educate and entertain music lovers all over the world. Charu completed her PhD in 2016 from the Queensland Conservatorium, Griffith University in Australia. And 5 years ago, we visited that place and we gave a short performance there too. I'm very, very happy to know that she graduated, from Australia on a synergist between Carnatic vocal music and 17th century Italian opera. Founder of Sing to Connect, a government funded research project that examined the role of lullabies in the health and well being of refugee mothers. And Charu is an artist academic at the University of Tasmania. That's really wonderful to know that. Driving her performance and research imperatives alongside each other, Charu is currently in the US to deliver a keynote at the prestigious Carnegie Hall Lullaby Project convention between June 1st and 3rd, where she is being honored for her research on music in health settings. How amazing! She is, she doesn't even look that old, but her achievements are like a over 80-year-old woman's achievements, right? Charu is also a popular Indian playback singer, having sung super hit songs in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and even Bollywood. Some of the hit songs. Yesterday, my whole job was I put a Charulatha Mani, and then I was hearing her music when I was doing my work, and all these beautiful songs. I was like, oh my God, she is like such an amazing, artist, And Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and even in Bollywood, she sang so many songs. Emuchi, Emuchi Mandele, that was my favorite song. And she sang that. I didn't even know that in Vetekaran, starring Vijay in music of, I think, Vijay Anthony, and Chillax in Velayudam, and starring Vijay in music of Vijay Anthony again, and Thiye Thiye in Matran, starring Surya in music of Harris Jairaj, and Kannukul Potti Veipen in Tirumanam. I wrote it down in English, so my accent probably, I'm a Tamilian, so I'm reading the Tamil in English, so I might stutter, so put up with my language, okay? And Tirumanam Ennum Nikka, starring Nazriya in music of Gibran, Sada Nannu, National Award winning Mahanadi film in Telugu and in Tamil, in music by Mickey J. Mayer. and self-tuned Tamil pasurams in Chennai Express, Hindi and both Hindi and Bollywood, with Deepika Padukone in the music direction of Vishal Shekhar. And as an international composer of repute, Charu has composed an intercultural short opera building on the work of pioneering Indian opera composer of the early 17th century, Claudia Monteverdi, and the work of Monteverdi reimagined. I mean, I heard that and I just, gone out of my brain. I was listening to it over and over and over. That was such a phenomenal YouTube I found. I'm going to be also playing some of those clips from here and there because it was a large video. I will be playing some clips for all of you also to hear from it. It was a significant feature of her PhD thesis in 2019. In 2022, the work Jalatarange was commissioned and performed by the reputed Birali Voices Choir for the Multicultural Arts Day in Queensland to celebrate the Brisbane River and its cultural year. On May 19, 2023, her new ensemble work for solo, duo, and ensemble mode Raga in Kalyani Ragam was premiered with the experimental music ensemble at the University of Tasmania, Hobart. She has been commissioned by the prestigious Australian Broadcasting Corporation to compose the multicultural ensemble work, The Five Elements 2024 and 2024. So watch out, stay behind her. So that there are a lot of things happening, highlighting the Panchabhutas from the ancient Rig Veda to underscore the urgency for climate action. That is very, very, very much needed for all of us who are alive in this time. I can talk all about her achievements all day long because it's 30 pages long. I can sit and read about it, but instead of me talking about it, I am really going to be asking her, talking to her, listening to her. Of course, we are all very curious to talk to her in person, right? So let me stop talking and let's go to Charulatha Mani, Dr. Charulatha Mani on the world stage now. Everyone, please join me and giving a warm welcome and poke that like and poke that heart and send us your love. And I'm going to be really, really having a good time with Charulatha today in her appearance. Charu, dear, you are an amazing artist, and as I mentioned that I needed to have the 30 and 40 pages, which I have to read for 3 days. I would rather talk to you and get all the information from you and listen to you, your singing and all that. So, welcome home, and this is beautiful.
Thank you, Rose. So, yeah, when you say that a bio is so long, it's just a life lived so far. And I just want to first of all acknowledge my mother as well, Srimati Hemalata Mani. So my mother is a Veena artist, a very wonderful performer and educator, a student of Sri Chitti Babu sir. Yes, and so it's because of Amma that I really got into music. So I just want to thank her. We just celebrated Mother's Day, so I think it's very appropriate. So she is.
Of course, that's absolutely, wonderful. That's amazing. You mentioned Chidi Babu. My husband is a student of Chidi Babu sir's student, RJ Lakshmi ma'am. So, same school again.
Amazing. So
Wow.
I think, yeah. So basically, I think I come at all this with gratitude because of my mother's presence in my life. I got introduced to music from a very young age, um, and I think she's hearing me from Chennai now. My mother and grandmother. So just shout out to them first, and then I just want to say hello to my husband Karthik Bala, who might also have been tuned in, finally at
Awesome.
Charulatha.
Mom, Charulatha's mom, of course, you are mom to all of us, and grandmother, and of course,
And my husband as well,
and Charulatha's husband. Hello to all of
out
you.
there. So, so first of all, just thanks for inviting me. That operatic work is was a co-composition with Claudio Monteverdi, who's the Italian sort of pioneer of opera. So when I first started doing that work as part of my PhD, it took me on an entirely different journey here in Australia. Um, and coming at that operatic style from a Carnatic perspective also opened my mind about the ways in which the concept of legato, which is connecting between notes, using the breath to realize ornamentation, how to bring ornamentation in a way that is moving and relaxing and not just challenging at the same time. So it taught me a few things that I could then employ into my Carnatic singing. So this Sadananu song that you mentioned in the music of Mickey Mayer, that was recorded in about 2018 after I had, looked at opera and had my eyes open to a few other ideas. And so just hearing myself even sing that, I found a bit of a change. So I think life is all about learning. And I'm
Of
always
course,
been a
yeah,
big
I completely agree
learner.
with you. I'm going to actually play a little bit of that for our audience. I found that and I got addicted to your, that particular composition. And just a piece of that I wanted to show it to our audience. Just 1 second.
Dal mio permesso amato, a voi mi regno, e credete voi, sangui gentil di regi, la fama eccelsi pregi ne giunga il ver perché troppo alto il segno. La musica son tai dolci accenti so far tranquillo ogni turbato cuore ma panida ni sardari ma pagama vida et cor d'amore ordino venira et cor d'amore posso infiammar le più gelate menti ma pada sanida pamada pamare.
You know what? I didn't even want to cut it off there because it was a long one, but I had to because the it will only take a shorter clip, so I did that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank
You
you,
know,
Rose. Thank you
yeah.
so much. And even in that concept, the raga concept was what drew me into that, and that brings Isai Payanam into the conversation.
Right, right. Yeah,
And
that's
so I do know that you have a lot of questions for Isai Payanam, and so please fire away. Rose, I think you're on mute right now. Yeah.
yes. Sorry, sorry. Yes.
All right.
First of all, what I would like to, ask is a typical question. I would like to ask you know, every anchor asks, every guest, like
Yes.
share your, family background. Of course, you told about your mother, and of
Yes.
course, about both parents, your childhood and your schooling, and your upbringing with music as a young girl. So if you can share with us, that'll be wonderful.
I'm going to unmute it. So, well, like I said, I grew up with my mother playing the veena, but also my father was a very shaping influence in our lives. My sister Sri Madhumita, who's younger than me, she's also a very renowned playback singer. So together, we used to talk a lot about music, sing a lot. And also, my father, Sri O.S. Mani, he was a chief engineer in the Merchant Navy. And so Appa used to travel all over the world, and at that time, karaoke was really famous. So he used to bring back karaoke of popular Western songs, pop songs. So from Mariah Carey to Barbara Streisand to ABBA to the Carpenters, Whitney Houston, Paula Abdul, a lot of those, typically 90s and 2000s sort of music. Appa used to bring those karaoke back home, and I used to sing with the karaoke track. And I've also sung this in Doordarshan back home in India. So I grew up with that sort of inherently multicultural sort of a music environment where I was taught to respect all forms of music. Likewise, my mother used to talk a lot about film songs, and she used to point out to P. Sushila Amma's voice and say, "Para beautiful arka," or S. Janaki Amma, and there used to be conversations about ragas in film songs right from the childhood. So when I started Isai Payanam in 2006 for Jaya TV, it was not a sudden seed of an idea. It was something that was in incubation for more than a decade. Because of that, what we describe in research as an ontological position, because you've done your PhD, you do know that in research, things don't just happen out of nowhere. We derive our knowledge from a sense of being with people in a particular environment for a while, and then deriving that knowledge from there. So that's what happened with me. That background was really strong, and when I came into Carnatic performances, my gurus were really influential in shaping my understanding of Tyagaraja Kritis, Dikshita Kritis, how to sing Raga Alapana. So I want to just also give my thanks to my guru Sri Purna Pragya, son of Sandhyavandaram Srinivas Rao. And those classes, we used to sit for classes for 3 hours at a stretch, even with Savitri Satyamurthy, Mami, or KSK sir. So we used to work with one piece, whether it's a long Dikshidhar Kriti like, Dakshina Murti. I remember sitting and learning that, or things like Budhama Shrayami, which is a Varakriti, or here it is Sunday. So Surya Murti, which is the Grahakriti for the sun, but for you it is Divakara Tanujam Saneshcharam in Los Angeles. I think you're still on Saturday. So things like that are so deeply embedded in my being that I think everything I do comes from that knowledge, from that depth. So, yes, that is my background. It's a very deep background in spirituality, it's a very deep background in ethics of music and respect for, for music across genres and for musicians. So, I come from a place of respect, I think.
Very, very beautifully said, that Charu. And that's really amazing. I mean, see, most of the time, why I typically ask these questions is like most of the time people only know you as a singer, as a performer, as as an artist. So they do not know how an artist is created. They go through so many different things. It is just not you go to a teacher, learn a music, and then perform. It's a lot of other things are behind to become an artist. So I wanted to bring the artist and talk to them and find out what every single artist went through to become one. So this is amazing to hear. My next question to you is, what do you see in ragams that makes your view very unique?
That's such a great question because right from childhood I've had this, connection with the Raga Devata. I remember I learned Chetasri Bala Krishnam. I'm going to just sing a few lines of it for the benefit of the audience so that they are able to appreciate exactly what I'm talking about. Hmm. This is in Dvijavanti Ragam. चेत श्री बालकृष्णं भज रे चिन्तितर्थ प्रदम चरण विन्द मुकुन्दं चेत श्रीबाल कृष्णं भजरे. So I had learned this song and I was.
Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing, amazing, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So I had learned this song as a teenager and I was just practicing it. I remember, and during the Charanam, I was just singing it, and it was Gokulashtami, and I was sitting there, and my eyes were just watering. There was just tears flowing out as I was singing Nava Tulasi Vanamalam, Nava Champaka Nasika Matasi Sumabhasakam. And it's just like now when I talk about it, I'm bursting into goosebumps because at that time, what I saw was on one hand, it was Gokulashtami, and I saw the Lord Krishna and the way in which Dikshar could have seen Lord Krishna. But on the other hand, I saw Dvijavanti Ragam, Pratyaksham. So it's like some moments, not every time, but some moments you're closest to what is the truth, that truth of the moment. So it's a very philosophical thing for me, that connection with the ragam. So when I sit with a practice, when I sit with the ragam, it's like having a deep connection with somebody, sitting with them, like you and I are talking, but that's deeper than that. So the gamakas, so enna solla varama, what do you want to tell me?
Very, very
So
true.
it's like, how some people are horse whisperers. I think I'm a raga whisperer. This
That's
was
the right
something that
word, I
someone
guess.
told me. So even when I'm talking to you, I'm getting emotional because that is a connection. And that is a connection that not only I have, I think a lot of the great artists or a lot of the artists or students even have that. But I tapped into that and I went deeper in it and I thought that connection that I see, I want to share it with the rest of the world.
How
And that is
beautiful.
how
How
Isai Payanam
beautiful.
happened.
Yes. Very, very beautiful. Yeah. And,
Hmm.
I just wanted to find out, like, tell us about the phenomenal program, Isai Payanam. I mean, probably not only me, the whole gang of, audience wanted to know, like, about the Isai Payanam. What made you come up with the idea of Isai Payanam, and how did it happen, and how has that changed the way in which audiences have looked at ragas in classical and cine music?
I think I'll start with a song again. What is more appropriate than music to illustrate music? உம் கோடையில் ஒரு நாள் மழை வரலாம் என் கோலத்தில்
நிலவே என்னிடம் நெருங்காதே நீ நினைக்கும் இடத்தில் நான் இல்லை மயக்கும்
Wow.
பொழுதே நீ போ போ இனிக்கும் இன்ப இரவே நீ வா வா. जाग दर्द इश्क जाग दिल को बेकरार कर దని సాని ద దని సాని ద పదని ద మ పద పగ గమ దని సాని ద పగ గమ గరి దని దని స గమ దని ద మ పగ రే స దని స గ దని స మో గరి దని స మో Gamadhanidam Nidamapagamagarisanidhanisam Aramale Aramale Gamadhanidapagare Sadanisadama Bhagyasri Raga. So, in
Wow,
Bhagyasri
wow,
Raga,
wow. How beautiful. How beautiful.
thank you, Rose. Thanks a lot. And that is a raga of the night. It's a raga of longing, and it's a very feminine raga. So, Bhagyasri Ragam is an example where a lot of the film music lovers would have known all these songs. கலையே என் வாழ்க்கையில் திசை மாற்றினாய் நீ இல்லையேல் நான் இல்லையேல் இதெல்லாம் கேட்டிருப்போம். We would have heard all of this. But to connect it to a raga Bhagyasri, which is also a Carnatic raga, it's also a film raga. I mean, it's also a Hindustani raga. Um, and we know that songs like கண்டேன் 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 சீதையை கண்டேன் ராகவா நான் கண்டேன் 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 சீதையை
Such a pretty beautiful song. I love
Carnatic
that song.
songs. And also M.D. Ramanathan. Sagara Shayana Vibho Prabho beautifully classical song. So we know all this, but making that connection, just allowing people to sit and make that connection and enjoy that connection and see where the swaras happen in those pieces, whether it is the Hindustani Bhagyasri or whether it's the Carnatic Mayakum Malay or the Hindi version of that. Mera sahara man mera dekho. So Jiki and Talat Mahmood have sung this in the Hindi version in Gule Bakavali, and Jiki and A.M. Raja have sung Mayakum Male Purdeni Popo in Gule Bakavali, starring our prince MGR. So, you know, such connections, making sense of what they know in the film world and connecting it to music is a special journey. And so Isai Payanam was inspired by that journey and the way in which people can see ragas differently. People can understand film music differently. And also, to be honest, Rose, there is the issue of social divide in Carnatic music of South India. We know that, and it so Carnatic music, learning Carnatic music, performing Carnatic music over the last 2 decades has increasingly, 3 to 4 decades even, became increasingly a property of the educated upper middle class, essentially Brahmin community. And this has posed a lot of problems for the way in which common people have perceived Carnatic music. My grandmother used to say that back then, பந்தல் போட்டு தெருவை அடைச்சு they used to have concerts. P.U. Chinnappa and M.K. Tyagaraja Bhagavatar, Pavarakudi and things like that back in the 1940s, 19, the 30s and 40s. People who
that
were
too, vidiya, vidiya, vidiya.
early all through the night, and KB Sundarambal. So back then, even the rickshaw puller would be able to appreciate music because it was taken to them. It was not taken away from them. The venues were closer to them. They could get there, they could see it, they could make those connections between live music and film music, because it was the time when film music came to the fore. And that was also the advent of MS Subbulakshmi. It was the advent of G.N. Balasubramaniam. It was the advent, it was the beginning of songs like Giridhara Gopala, Bala Giridhara Gopala. மோகனம் என்ன அப்படின்னு தெரியறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே இந்த பாட்டு என்னன்னு தெரியும் பீப்புளுக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறம் கிராமடைசிங் இட் மோகனம்னு சொல்றது அண்ட் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் த பிரயோகாஸ், ஆல் தட் ஹேப்பன்ட் ஆஃப்டர். ஸோ and the cultural connection to music, the cultural connection to raga, that has to be rekindled with the masses. It cannot just stop with sabhas, it cannot stop with educated upper middle class people living at a particular social strata in society who can afford gurus, who can afford to connect with gurus. It has to be for everybody. So I am a passionate advocate of social justice, Rose.
Wonderful. I mean,
Social
I
justice
really,
in
yeah, I
music.
really, really, like I see that Isai Payanam, like the idea itself. I mean, that's what I thought in my mind. It shouldn't be just stuck in one single circle. And then ஒரு சின்ன வட்டத்துக்குள்ள போயிட்டு இருக்கிறதுக்கு பதிலா you just brought it out to the common public, even like people who did not understand classical music or did not have the ability to go and learn, as you mentioned, even for them to understand the classical music in a better way. So you did an amazing job through your Isai Payanam, and
Thank
that
you
is
so
phenomenal.
much. Yeah, and hearing that from you, it's really heartwarming, because that's what I'm hearing now increasingly around the world. People are turning more to Isai Payanam. The traction is increased, and I receive calls and messages from all over the world saying that, look, I hadn't realized that there's so much classical music in film songs. And there have been people who've said, I've, I have felt excluded from classical side because, I really haven't appreciated it. So I had a fear, I had a sense of, will I be included or not? Do I understand it or not? So there's that sense of exclusionary sort of elitism that was classical, but your program changed that for me. So even those people's voices are important to me.
Very, very true.
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's what's important to me.
that's
You
very
know.
true. Now you know why you reached over 5 million views for all those, videos, because, people, it reached common people very easily, so that they were able to understand the classical music through this channel, so that, oh, there is much beauty into the classical music. When they hear, like it's all basically like when you connect with what you do not, what you already know with what you do not know, that makes a perfect sense. And so you created that platform for them to understand the classical music through what they have already known, or learned, or whatever they already in existence. That is such a phenomenal work.
And what you just described now is the process of learning,
Very, very
connecting
true.
what we
Very, very
know to
true.
what we don't know, and forming those connections and building on those connections to derive new thoughts and ideas. So, but also, like you said, appreciating film music through the lens of Carnatic became interesting, because as I started singing for films, music directors like Vijay Antony sir and Harris Jayaraj and Mickey Mayer, who worked with me on Sada and Nanu song. So they used to come and ask me, Charu, I have this melody, but it sounds like a raga is in there for me. Can you sort of tell me where the raga is happening in this? So I would say, yeah, I can hear this raga and this raga. There is something going on there. So when I sing film songs, they have always had a classical flavor. So for instance, let me sing a song in Mukhari that I sang for Tirumanaminum Nika, which was it became a super hit, that song, because with Nazriya's Bharatanatyam in there, and so everybody started singing it, and still kids love it. Um, but that is a rare raga. Even in Carnatic music, Mukhari, so that piece was in Mukhari and Hamid Kalyani together. So recording that piece was, we had so much of interesting conversation, Gibran and myself, Mohammed Gibran and myself. So I'll just give you a snippet of that.
Yes, we are looking forward. We are ready.
Mm, மழைத்தடையாய் உள்ளம் பிசு பிசுப்பை பேண எதற்கடி திண்டாட்டம் அவன் அழகை காண நிராதைனம் சொல்லாமல் சொன்னாயே செங்கோதை மனம் உன் பேச்சில் தந்தாயே உன்னாலே யோசிக்கிறேன் உன் சிரிப்பு சரத்தில் மகிழ மரத்தில் பூவைக்கிறேன் கண்ணுக்குள் பொத்தி வைப்பேன் என் செல்ல கண்ணு தேவா விதித்ததை ஜதிக்குள் என்னோடு ஆடுவாவ அடிக்கடி உன்னை பிடிக்க நான் மன்றாடிட இடப்புறம் விரல் மடக்கினீ டுகாட்டிட என் கண்ணனே த சரிமா மபகரி சரி நீத சரிமா பமனீதப்பா சரி மாமா மபகரி சரி நீத சரி மப்பமணி தப்ப ரிம பத நித நீ ரீ நீ தப ரிம பத பமர பமகரி சரி நீத ச வாடாமலரே தமிழ்த்தேனே இணையாடும் அழகே தனியாரும் வீசரில் வந்த ஆராவமுதே எனதன்பே. அம்பிகாபதி படத்துல. சோ இந்த காலத்துல வந்து கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக்கு வந்து அந்த காலத்துக்கு போயாச்சு.
How amazing! I mean, see, till now I didn't know that was the song that the song was sung by you. No,
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard so many. This is beautiful. I mean, I heard that, but unfortunately, like a here and there. I mean, we don't have much opportunity to hear movie songs here. So whenever I go to YouTube, I hear several here. But this is so beautiful. And now I knew. Okay, people, give another love, heart, or whatever you can. Please make sure that, like she deserves a lot more than that, but at least here on the chat line, throw her everything what you can and send her your love. And that was so beautiful, Charu. That was really,
Thank
really
you,
beautiful.
Rose. Thanks a lot.
And
Yeah.
you had sung in several Indian movies in different languages. Please tell us your journey, how you got into the playback singing. Of course, you were a classical singer originally, and then, like with the heavy duty background with learning from, phenomenal gurus, how did you get, usually, like there is a thing that, okay, if you're a classical singer you should not go to movies and this and that. Even it happened to me when I was in in my teens. So how did you break the barrier, and how did you go, first of all, how did you start the journey? And your voice suits for both classical and film music, obviously, so that is one thing the music directors probably loved you to bring you in. So give us a little brief about your journey, please.
Yes, so it was some of the music directors had already seen me on JRTV doing Isai Payanam, and there was an interest to learn about ragas. So I became that person who could talk about film music and classical and to bring it together through the ragam, language of ragam. And it was just one of those instances when I connected with Vijay Anthony, and and he said, "You want to come in for an audition?" So I just went in. I sang. Shanmugapriya Ragam, incidentally, I still remember.
You know,
And
as you're talking about it, I'm also going to show to our audience some of the pictures that you had taken with all these music directors. So just go ahead,
so,
but
yeah,
I'm going to be
I'm
showing some of them.
excited.
Yes.
I'm excited to see that collection of memories as well. So this was in 2007 that suddenly I got a call from Vijay Antony and said, and he said, "Look, I want a voice that's classical, but it's a very sassy song." And so I went and sang for Nanavanille. I sang. Kaka kaka kanam kaka kaka taka taka angam taka taka noka noka penne noka bene noka noka. So that was in Revati Raga, and it was very classical, but it had to have that spunk. So then I sang that. That was my first song, and then yeah, uchi mandela surangudu onnana pakela from Vetekaran, and then there was Manjanati Marthakata, Maya Vichumai Puta, Natakata, Taunakata, Rendum Kalam, the Semakata, chillax, 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 chillax. And in that, I sang Sindhu Bhairavi actually in the end. Chillax. So, and after that, I worked with Harris Jairaj sir. I've met with Ilayaraja sir, who released my Ringpara album. Here is a photo of Harris Jairaj. Sorry, this is me with Ilayaraja sir, but here is a photo with Harris Jairaj sir. We're rehearsing for Matran launch in Singapore. So that's Sunita Sarathi near me, and then this Suchi on one side. And we're all like trying to get that piece together. So that's me sitting there wearing a pair of jeans and looking very cool back in the day. So
Now,
yeah.
even now, you're very cool. Not only in back in the days.
Yeah, so that was just from India Glitz, that photograph from Matran, and this is me performing with co-singer Prasanna. We are singing together in Sydney, actually. So we had just sung in the same film, Vela Yudam. Say, I sang Chillax and he sang Momolachu Munele Vidale. And this is with Vijay Prakash performing in Canada. So Vijay Prakash and I incidentally also sang Kannukul Potivepen for Gibran. So this is us. I actually would love to show a photo of myself and my sister, Sri Madhumita. There we are together in Oslo, in Norway, just before a show. Oh my God! I just straightened my hair and had some bangs and things, and
you,
oh,
you look amazing.
and my sister is such a source of inspiration for me. She's a wonderful composer and she lives in Melbourne right now. And she's a fabulous singer, Kanakanum Kalangal. I just want to give a shout out to my sister Sri Madhumita and sing a line from her super hit for Yuvan Shankar Raja.
Hi, Madhumita, if you are there watching this, I love you.
கன காணும் காலங்கள் கரைந்தோடும் நேரங்கள் கலையாத கோலம் போடுமோ விழி போடும் கடிதங்கள் வழி மாறும் பயணங்கள் தனியாக ஓடம் போகுமோ. This was in Raga Madhuvanti, and this shot her up to
Wow, that
fame.
was
She was just
beautiful.
16 when she sang this. So that's with my sister Madhumita. And yeah, so many memories. That photo is when I was 17 years old, and I had just brought the Meeraj Tambura home. I just bought a Meeraj Tambura, and we went to a studio, and I really wanted a black and white shot because I'm a big fan of MS Subbulakshmi and her look in Meera. So I said, Amma, I want a black and white shot that makes it look very vintage. So this is really a vintage photo of myself. My husband Karthik is a massive opera lover, so he and I have toured some of the best opera houses in the world, and this is at the München Staatsoper, the opera house where we're just about to watch Elisi d'Amore, the Amore, the elixir of love. And here is a photo
Wow, I
with
can't believe
great MS
you
Vishwanathan sir there.
worked with him as well. That's
Yes, so
beautiful.
I've done some concerts and shows with him and sat with him and had conversations about ragas. It has been one of the most immensely useful meeting for me in my life. And I interviewed him for Vasantham TV in Singapore, and this photo was taken then. Such a down to earth individual. And I think, like, you had asked me, Rose, why my bio was so small and why, I hadn't put all my film songs in it earlier this morning when we were having a conversation. She said, you said, Charu, you're like, why are you so, like, playing down on your achievements? But I think, if you want to talk to someone humble, look at MSV sir. It blew my mind just being in the same room with MSV sir. He's அவ்வளோ சாதிச்சிருக்காங்க, ஆனா அவ்வளோ ஒரு குழந்தை மாதிரி ஒரு மனசு. And it was wonderful to talk in that conversation to MSV sir. If I may, I just want to present one of the songs that I love from MSV sir.
Please, we would love that.
Hmm. अमरजीवितं स्वामी अमुदवासगम् पतितपावनं स्वामी भक्तसाधकम् ॐ हरि ओम्. From his private
Wow,
album.
wow, that was very beautiful, very beautiful.
Thank you.
And you know, like you had met almost, every great musicians from the film industry, and you worked with them, and this is simply amazing. Like, I mean, when I called you in, you sent me a very short bio. I was like, and every time when I bring in a musician, not only musician, any artist, I research about them and I find out about them, like just to be more interactive and to truthful to myself, my heart. Sometimes they might add something, sometimes they will not add something. When I, read your bio, I was like, why is she not talking about her? I was like, I started gathering everything on my own, but still, as I mentioned, that needs at least 30 to 40 pages for me to read about all those achievements. That's really amazing, Charu. I'm very proud of you. I'm very, very proud and honored to bring you here. Yeah,
Yeah,
very, very honored.
thank you. And now, but before I forget, I think we need to talk about the upcoming Isai Payanam in the US.
Exactly. I'm going there. Yeah. So
Yes.
next, yes. So can you can you say, I know you are an ethnomusicologist, and tell us about your academic achievements before we go into our current affairs. I know you
Oh,
had
okay,
your
okay,
PhD,
sure.
and
All right.
we wanted to hear about your PhD in Carnatic music and opera, working with multicultural musicians globally, and if you can share your
Yes.
experiences.
So my love for opera came after my marriage, essentially, because Karthik at home he plays a lot of opera, and so I sort of got accustomed to hearing Italian language and that sort of a musical idiom. When I started to do my PhD, however, I looked at early opera, the genesis of opera, and looked at cultural exchange and borderless mobility in 16th and 17th century Venice, and things like cultural exchange and voices and instrumentation and ornamentation and all of that. So that's the background of my PhD. I finished my PhD in 2019 from the Queensland Conservatorium. And then I did a postdoctoral research fellowship on music and flourishing in regional communities in Queensland, in the University of Queensland, where I was awarded a prestigious fellowship from UQ that was funded by the central government. And after my postdoctoral research fellowship, I embarked on my current full-time continuing academic role as the lecturer in creative arts and health at the University of Tasmania, specializing in music. So I lecture, I do research, I compose, I work with ensembles here at the university. I travel worldwide to present to research talks. And my particular field of research at the moment that I'm specializing is perinatal mental health and well-being through music, particularly the lullabies, the power of lullabies in various languages for forging that sense of connection with the child, but also sense of belonging and self-identity, particularly
That's
in
very
women
beautiful. Yeah, that's very,
from
very
culturally
beautiful.
diverse backgrounds, and so that is my focus of research. But yeah, I work with, so currently I'm really excited to be packing my bags and coming to the US, because I'm going to be delivering a keynote at the Carnegie Hall Lullaby Convention, talking about the power of lullabies from a research evaluation perspective. And
That's
so
very, very
basically, it's
beautiful.
like the thing with health research is they like to see numbers and graphs, but the real qualitative truth lies in the stories, the lived experience of the people who are experiencing music and lullabies and connecting, and relief and anxiety relief, and relief from depression, postnatal depression, which is really debilitating. The people who are experiencing that firsthand and sharing those stories, that is the important part of research that has to be told and got across, right? So my approach to research, since you asked, is qualitative, it's artistic, it complements the quantitative side and tells the story in a rich and culturally relevant and appropriate way. So
That's
that's
very
my
beautiful.
research thing, and
That's
that's the hat I wear.
that's really amazing. Like that is something, which will not only reach out to the moms, as you said, that the research topic, like, I mean, we only just thought the lullabies are put to a baby to sleep. It's not really true. You know what, one thing I'll tell you, sometimes when my son or daughter, I mean, they are in their, my daughter is in her early 30s, and my son is almost late 20s, till when they come closer to me, mom, can you sing the song that you used to put me to sleep? It doesn't matter, that doesn't carry the age, that doesn't matter how old they become. Even till today, when I think about when I can't sleep, something goes in my brain that it's affecting my sleep, the lullaby my mom used to sing, it runs in my brain. So that is such an amazing, wonderful topic that you're going to be delivering at Carnegie Hall. Actually, in fact, Carnegie Hall, right before the pandemic. They announced in March, we were supposed to be performing in Carnegie Hall on the 1st of April, 2020. They cut off in, I think, 2-3 days before, because they shut down the Carnegie Hall.
Oh,
And it'll be an amazing thing for you to go. Have you performed in Carnegie Hall before?
not yet. So I will
You
also be
will
performing. I'll be
enjoy.
singing as well on the stage. So
You will
looking forward.
enjoy. Yeah, you will enjoy being there, presenting yourself, one of the best halls ever on earth, I would say.
Oh,
And
wonderful. I'm so excited for that. So so I'm coming there, but there's going to be the Isai Payanam, Grand Isai Payanam at Washington DC at the Siva Vishnu temple.
oh,
Um,
wow, okay,
and
wonderful.
you will know about that, but through the flyer. So I think after around 10 years, I'm performing live in the US Isai Payanam.
So amazing. Yeah,
And that's happening in June 4th.
I was actually
June
going
4th.
to be
Okay.
asking you about, I
Okay.
know, like, I had
I'll be in
seen
touch
some of
with
the
you.
flyers. Yeah, I had seen some of the flyers. I pulled it out. I wanted to actually share with our audience too.
Okay.
I was going
Okay.
to talk, into details about those ones
Yes.
too.
Yes.
You
So,
know,
so
I
let's talk about that. Yeah.
Right,
True.
right.
But
Yeah, yeah. I came to know that you're planning to give the workshop in Northern California, and I didn't know your husband works there. So now you have a reason to visit here. And
yeah.
on May
Yeah.
26th, that's probably in few days, and I'm going.
Correct. I
Yeah,
know things are coming around really quickly, aren't they? So
right,
I'll be
right.
getting on the
Yeah.
plane really soon.
Yeah, I'm going to
And
share that flyer with our audience. This is the one on May 26th that she is going to be given a workshop. And so I wanted the people to just take a note of it and take the number. I think Karnataka, California, the one of the organizers who was a very active follower of our Spring Nectar, and she used to be performing with us also during the pandemic several times. And I'm very proud that she is able to bring you in and offer this course for. Is it going to be? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is it going to be live only, or going to be also online?
So this is going to be live, but I think Surabhi Vijay is trying to get this to be recorded as well.
Okay, so it's going to be recorded as well. Okay,
As
so
well, yes.
wonderful. Okay, so awesome, awesome. And also, there is another fundraising performance. You were just
Yes,
talking
Isai
about it.
Payanam.
Isai,
Yeah.
oh, that's Isai Payanam. I didn't even know about it. In
Yes, yes.
scheduled to do for Hindu American Community Services at Washington D.C. area, SPBT, on June
Yes.
4th, right? And
Yes,
what
June 4th.
yeah, what cause is the fundraising going to be supporting?
So HACSI, the Hindu Association for Community Services in the US, is actually feeding the homeless. They have been feeding the homeless for the last several years, supporting that the cause in the greater DC area. But also they have been offering COVID relief and post-pandemic relief, and really supporting the community in every way they can. Um, and so this fundraiser is going to go directly to help people. It's going to go to feed people, which is so important.
It's really
I
amazing.
mean, so far, I heard from Dr. Siva Subramaniam, who is one of the primary drivers behind Haxi. I heard from Dr. Shiva, who also happens to be related to me, Shiva Mama. Hi, if you're there. So I heard from Shiva Mama that around 1.5 million meals have been given so far
Right. I mean, we
to
also
people in
support
the
One
area.
Zero. Yeah, we support One Zero
Yeah,
while feeding homeless and this, and we go to shelters and then
that's right.
provide them with food and stuff like. It's amazing because sometimes see, as long as we have our bread on our plate, we do not know what hunger means. It is very important. Sometimes people go without eating for days and sometimes weeks, and people who can afford to give them. This is an amazing thing. In the U.S., a lot of organizations come forward to do it. I'm really really happy that you are involved and raising funds for the same cause, and this is amazing. And I also just noticed in this, Sri Hari Raman, a mridangist, who was our platinum winner in one of the competitions. And during the pandemic, the one, I mean, platinum is only for the extraordinary, I would say like a high end performers. They have to, like a regular first prize, second place, third place, and all that. And platinum is only like exclusively who achieved something and presented something. And he was one of them. One of the rarest, talas he presented and won the platinum in the
That's
first.
so amazing.
Yeah, he's an
So great to
amazing.
know.
Yes,
Yeah, so the
amazing.
team of the entire team of artists are wonderful. We have Somanath and Srihari. And it's going to be a full Isai Payanam program with super hit ragas like Darbari Kannada and Kalyani, and there's going to be Kapi and Sindhu Bhairavi and Hindolam. So it's going to be a mix of some really fantastic classical multilingual pieces, from Dasarapadas to Annamacharya Sankirtana to Tyagaraja Kritis to Tamil Kritis. So it's going to have that, and then it's going to have bhajans and abhangs, as well as film songs in various languages. Manna Day
That's
songs,
really
Lata
beautiful.
Mangeshkar songs, and latest songs as well. So if you're in the tri-state area and you just want to have a nice evening, that and also support a good cause, please do come on June 4th
Yes,
to the
dear all, whoever
concert.
is living in that area, please, please do not miss this. And it sounds very amazing. I wish I lived there so that I won't miss it. with the whole family. I would come and sit and watch. And if there is any link for online link later on, you share it with us. And of course, I will be sharing with all our audience too. That's one of the amazing things. And the cause is, phenomenal. And it is to feed the people who cannot find the bread in their plate. So this will be an amazing thing. So we will not understand the hunger as long as we have food on our plates. So it will be a beautiful thing if you can go and support Charu on that day. It is on the 4th of June, and it's on Hindu American Community Services at Washington D.C. And if you are in that area, please, please, please go and be there and support her performance. And that's really wonderful, Charu. And one last question before you go. What is your future plans, if you can share with us?
Um, yeah, so like I said, I'm a lifelong learner. So if I just want to be creatively stimulated and do a lot in music. That's all. So I have set up the Money Osai Academy, um, uh, incorporating my father, Money OS. So Money Osai,
Oh,
Academy for
oh,
classical
that's
voice.
that's really
And
amazing. That's amazing.
so that's there. But I want to be performing a lot. I want to be performing a lot. And there is an appetite for Isai Payanam. So all over the world, I want to be doing more of that. I want to be composing. Of course, there is my academic life, and hopefully, yeah, the future will see me teaching and performing and composing and researching, importantly,
That's very
um,
important. Yes.
as well.
Awesome. That's really, really amazing. One last time, I wanted to play one more clip that I have, and I wanted to share with everyone. And it's a very short clip, and Almazar korpoşulta invar ஆசை முகம் மறந்து போச்சே இதை யாரிடம் சொல்வேனடி தோழி ஆசை முகம் மறந்து போச்சே இதை யாரிடம் சொல்வேனடி தோழி நேசம் மறக்கவில்லை நெஞ்சம் எனில் நினைவு முகம் மறக்கலாமோ How beautiful. I mean, audience, I just wanted to tell them, how you incorporated. You were, when you sang the Western, you were in a different attire. And when you sang the Asemugam Marandu Poche, you just put a dupatta and made yourself into Indian. And, you have to have the quick, that's amazing. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I must share this with. I mean, it's not a tiny little thing which goes in there. It's a lot more than what one can expect is going in there. And that was really brilliant. And I really wanted to share that a little with our audience. Also, if people haven't seen her Isai Payanam release when it was released. Here is a little clip. It was a while ago, probably, and it was probably a launch with Unnikrishnan, and all of them are looking very young. So that's that's so beautiful, Charu. I mean, thank you so much for joining us. This is an amazing interview, and not only about what you have done, you also shared about your childhood with us, and your interest in music, and your future plans and everything, and that will definitely amazingly inspire a lot of younger generation, the future generation, to get a lot from you, from your thought, from your life, to take it back and then to become a musician if they are thinking about becoming an artist. Hello, everyone. Again, let us all give another round of applause. Please poke your heart and give your love, and please send her your all the comments, whatever you can, to support her, and also all the events she is planning in future. Please do support, and all the informations are available in the video. I will also post it after the live is done in the comment column, so that you can retrieve that and then look into it if you are living in that area, and go and visit her events and support her. And thank you so much, Charulatha and Mani, and I really, really appreciate your being with us and giving
So
your love to us.
thank you, Rose. I mean, I've, um, I've done a lot of interviews, but I think this one was special because you're so kind and you really sort of asked very interesting questions, and it was really wonderful to speak to you. So I do hope we remain friends.
Of course, we
Yeah.
are going to be doing that. I mean, it's
Yes.
just the initial, introduction, and we probably we have a lot of things in common. It's starting from our guru. I studied with Calcutta Krishnamurti sir for a short while too, and now we know that Veena is also my husband's. We have a lot in common, and you have presented in Sydney Opera House, and you studied in the conservatory. So there are a lot of common things between us. So we should continue our friendship. And next time when you come, please make sure to come and visit us. And you can see my backyard where I'm sitting and doing this live. And you can go for a little swimming pool. We can do whatever you want. We can go to Disneyland and all that beautiful things we can do when you come here to LA. And again, thank you so much, dear friends, for being patient with us. And a lot of people, I noticed that you haven't followed us or subscribed us. If you please can poke your finger or your mouse onto that subscribe button or follow, and make sure that whatever I bring so many beautiful artists like Charu, and the past time, like several of the beautiful artists. So you can get your attention immediately, so that you can come and watch us every single time when I bring the artist. And thank you so much. If you haven't done it, please make sure to do it. And again, everyone join me in giving a big round of applause to Charuji. Thank you, Charu. So I just would like to give a little talk to our audience. In the meantime, I would love to say bye to you, and for a few more minutes, I will be talking. And thank you again for joining us. And that was such a phenomenal interview, dear all. And thank you so much for being with us. And I do see a lot of comments and everything. And I'm going to ask Dr. Charulatha Mani to go and see all the comments. And if you had asked any questions, I'm going to be asking her to reply to you all in person, and she can reply in the comment columns. Though in many cultures, several of them believe that classical music and dance is a dying art form, its longevity allows for it to remain relevant in today's society. Classical music will surely survive or live as long as the world lives inside into this universe. Music is developed to the needs of the different sections of the society. Music is a part of society, brings the unity in diversity. There is no caste, no creed, no gender, status or linguistic differences in music. And you can obviously see, like, she is also working towards a lot of her researches and her work is also following those aspects. Classical music is placed high in the society. It is created beyond the social problems. It takes the singer or the instrumentalist or a dancer and the listener to the higher plane. Singers contribute significantly to the cultural fabric of our society. They preserve and revitalize, traditional music, keeping cultural heritage alive for future generations. Singers breathe life into stories, traditions, and legends, and ensuring that they are not forgotten. You know, we also must recognize the economic, impact the singers do on the music industry. Their performances draw audience, create jobs for musicians, sound engineers, studios, and concert staff, and contribute to the local and global economy. In conclusion, singing and music have a multitude of benefits that extend far beyond their aesthetic value. Singing promotes personal well being and fosters community and inspires positive change. Singers such as Charulatha have the power to touch everyone's soul, shape our society, and make a lasting impact on the world we live in. Let us celebrate and support artists and their efforts. Especially, please do show your support to our artist, Beyond Limit series guest artist, Dr. Charulatha Mani, in her workshop and a fundraising concert that she had planned in the US. If you can go and attend and give your support to her, and you can mention to her that you came to know about her shows through this event. She'll be very happy. And Charu, if anyone comes and says, give them a high five on my behalf. And so she will definitely do it, and it is a guaranteed. I am witnessing that. And so please go and support her fundraising concert as she continues to create beauty, harmony, and unity through her musical talent and voice. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. And I will definitely come back next week with yet another beautiful. Actually, I will tell you, we have two legends joining us next week. Living legends who are going to be joining in this episode, and do not miss that one. You're going to be having a wonderful, wonderful time hearing how the legends are created as a young musicians in the beginning. So I will definitely come back again next week around the same time with a beautiful episode. Till then, I really say goodbye now and love you all. Stay safe. Thank you so much, and bye now.